on the internet, so.
Okay. We're recording and we'll call the meeting to order at 11:02. Angie Galvan's the secretary and all council members are present except for Jan Bailey.
Would you like me to go ahead and talk?
No, not yet.
Okay.
I just wait a second, please.
Certainly.
So you should see the agenda. So item number 2 is council business discussion and possible action may be taken the following items. Item A is discuss and approve the City of Clear Lake Shores communicable disease policy. And I'll turn it over to Brent Spear at this time.
Let's see. Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. This is the policy guidance that we discussed. I appreciate the input that I received. I made changes as suggested. They all made sense. And I added a hyperlink for instructions on face coverings to the CDC. Going forward, I think I sent out an email, but I think we're all, if you all are comfortable with accepting CDC guidelines, government Abbott orders as they come down, then I think I would take care of this. This is the first one. We're in unprecedented times with COVID-19. I don't know how we skipped COVID 1 through 18, but COVID-19's here, and I would expect that similar to seasonal flu or common cold, that will likely be something that's with us going forward. And speaking about the communicable diseases, there's usually there's 4 that I have identified through some of my research. That one is, MRSA and staph is common cold. One is influenza or the flu. Now we have COVID-19, which is maybe a hybrid. And then the last one is E. coli and foodborne illnesses. Since we don't have a cafeteria, we're not a school or anything, foodborne illness is probably not a huge issue. But one thing that all of these things entail and is incorporated in this guidance is a lot of sanitation, personal hygiene, education of employees, encouragement to take time off if you're sick, and a lot of self-monitoring. And so I think very easily that this could be adjusted to meet whatever needs into the future. But I did send out the version 3. I thought I had accepted all of the changes before I sent that. So if you received a copy of it and it doesn't, then I'll have to try to figure that out.
The one I received didn't have all the changes accepted. It also came as an ASD file.
Okay. Were you able to open that?
I was able to open it, but it still had some of the changes that weren't accepted.
Oh, okay. I didn't have any problem accepting changes.
Accept them all and then give final version on it.
Okay. So that's, I apologize. In my side it was, and I don't know why it's an ASP, but other than probably profile.
Okay, so you have anything else further discussion, Brent?
No, sir.
All right, thanks, council. Need a motion.
Make a motion to approve the City of Clear Lake Shores communicable disease policy.
So I have a motion to approve the communicable disease policy, but I think it's just the COVID-19 guidelines.
Our agenda says communicable disease policy. So, hey, Kurt, can you scroll it down? Because I can't.
or scroll it up. There you go. I mean, the way it looks, it's all just about COVID-19. It's not about any other diseases that we talked about.
That's exactly right, Christy. I agree with you, and so I appreciate the fact that this document was created. And I think Kurt did most of the work on this document on Brent's behalf. So kudos to you, Mayor. But I have a problem with the fact that we asked for a communicable disease policy and we're being asked to approve the COVID guidance. And I hear you, Brent, that there's only 4 of them, or 4 common. There's not just 4 common ones, but I mean, there are 4 common ones. There's not just 4 of them, but I feel like we asked for something and here we are, we don't have it. And so this is great for COVID guidance, but I think we need to set ourselves up as a city for when and if this happens again, and we're all long gone, that they're not 5 months into a pandemic and trying to figure out how we're going to operate. So,
right.
I agree with Amanda and Christy. I'm just wondering, can we amend what's written on our agenda and approve the COVID-19 policy, and then go back and revisit the more expansive communicable disease policy?
I believe you could just rename it to just that this falls underneath the communicable disease policy that needs to be done, and then Brent still needs to go off and bring that back in a little bit more. I think he needs more time.
I just need
Agree.
time, but I need to address this one item first. And,
Right.
And I can't. I'm going to have to do with the actual policy. I'm trying to, when I go in there and look at all those things, they all have different caveats that are related to them. So one of the things is that this was a short-term answer to an immediate problem, and to go forward, I would need more time to develop a policy, but it's not going to be as detailed as this. This was
Right.
No, it should tell you that the city should have, has something when we recognize it, and then you go off and create these guidelines, and you can keep that within your own management plan, and maybe have me just approve it. I think that's what council's asking for, but council's asking for us to have a policy that should probably go inside of our employee handbook, stating how we handle communicable diseases. Same thing in our emergency action plan. It should have in there emergency communicable diseases and how we handle. We handle floods, maybe tornado, hurricane and all that stuff. Well, I think what we're missing is the communicable disease, and even at us, at work, we had our hazard analysis didn't have communicable diseases in it. So now we're going back and having to address the hazards of communicable diseases, which happens to be right now COVID-19. And then how do we address that to allow ourselves to do our daily operations? And so council's asking here is can you put together a top level policy? I think, Amanda had some recommendations, but it doesn't have to be long, 3 or 4 sentences that outlines what it is, what we need to do when it occurs, and how we roll that out, and to what level does it need to be approved to.
Yes, that's exactly right.
Yes.
And I mean, you can do a simple Google search and you'll find, hundreds of thousands of, cities and companies and organizations that have it. And I think we should cover things like foodborne illnesses. We have a clubhouse that, things happen there, and so on and so forth. So something that's high level. And you're exactly right, Mayor. This is our guidance on COVID-19, which is a communicable disease. And that just files right under that policy. Just as any other thing would, that another one that comes up. But I think what we're asking for, Brent, at the end of the day, is a policy that we can approve. And I'm going to ask you again today how long you need that to get that done.
I'm working on it right now. I brought my focus from level up into the sky. So I'm getting ready to start my second sentence of maybe a 3 or 4 sentence. It can be ready next week. I'll have it ready. I'll send you all a draft.
So would it be good to have it by the next council meeting, and then we
certainly
can
do that,
approve this for now?
I think that's fine.
I
Yeah.
think that's fine.
Yeah, that's what I would like to do. Also, Brent, this is just record keeping, but on the last page of our COVID-19 policy that's presented to us, under the use of face coverings, a couple of sentences down, they're talking about using face coverings when public entrances, cubicle areas, walking in and out of conference rooms, and laboratories. Just spell check that to lavatories. Under use of face coverings, last page, like 3 sentences in.
Okay.
Okay, but I agree with everybody else. We do need a overall communicable disease policy, but I do like this one for the COVID, and that's what we do need now for the tool in your toolbox to enforce these policies with our masks and our employees.
On the word laboratories, how about if we just make that secure workspaces or work areas? Because we have in the police department, they're behind door, and our court staff, all that. Everyone's wearing their masks to get to their work areas. And once they're the distance, they're removing.
So you're saying when walking into or out of conference rooms and secure work areas, so you're saying lavatory, a bathroom is a secure work area?
Yeah, they wear them into the bathroom.
Yeah, you can probably
Okay, but
you can probably just strike lab. Just make it in or out of conference rooms and strike and laboratories.
Okay, I agree.
Those are
I agree.
scientific places for doing research, and I don't think we have any of that that's applicable.
I think it was trying to say, was it trying to say lavatories, like as in bathrooms, and it just didn't catch it on the spell check?
No, it's trying to say like where you do science.
Oh, it is trying to say labs. Oh, okay, yeah, strike that. We don't need that. Well, unless I'm missing something, but I don't think we need that.
Well, we have a small lab. No.
Okay, fair.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's a good recommendation to strike that.
Yeah, that's fine.
So this is a recommendation, and I don't know if we really need council to vote on it. We can just have a no vote. I feel that city administrator Brent has the authority to roll this out within the city. I think he originally was coming to you to look for direction. I'm okay with approving it. If you want to approve it as an interim action in between now and when we come back with the actual communicable disease policy, that's fine too. It's certainly up to y'all. Just make a motion and we can amend the motion to word it differently than what the agenda has it and go from there.
I'd feel better having a policy in place. Just God forbid anything happens, we have something for COVID. And yes, we do need the big picture, but we have this in place. And I think since it's a policy, I would feel better having council pass this council direct the city to use this as a policy.
And it does give it teeth.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. So I would like to.
Yeah, I want our people to know that this is what we expect of them. And
yes,
we all agree that this is what we expect, hence we're voting on it. So 100%, Angie.
Okay. I would like to amend my motion, make a motion to accept the City of Clear Lake Shores COVID-19 guidance.
I'll second.
Okay, motion by Angie, second by Amanda. Any discussion, especially from Thunderbear?
I just want to ask Brent to make sure, please send us a final with all the updates and everything, so we have that for our records, please.
I certainly will.
Excellent.
All right. Any further discussion? All right. All in favor with aye or hand up?
Aye from Angie.
All right. And any opposed, nay? All right. This passes unanimously. And that concludes this emergency meeting. I appreciate y'all calling into Zoom. I know y'all have busy schedules. So
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Brent. Thank you, Kurt. Thank you, everyone.